Hey everybody, Saturday morning and we're down here at the House of Tropicals in Glen Burnie. So we're going to go ahead and walk on inside and take a tour of the fish store. Alright, when we first come in we're greeted by Tiny Tawanda. Not sure how old she actually is, but apparently she can live to be 35. I'll let you read all that if you want. You can pause it. So these are just a few of the display tanks as you walk in. I know it's really kind of hard to see. You're sort of looking through at the store on the other side. And once we get around the corner, we've got all of our aquarium decor and all that kind of stuff up at the front of the store. We have coral, Texas holy rock, lots of awesome woodwork. I used to come here and just root through their wood. I actually have several pieces of wood that came out of here in a few of my different tanks. And they sell it by the pound. And here's all their salt water and RO water and all that kind of stuff you can buy, salt crystals and so on and so forth. This end of the store doesn't really interest me so much. It's all corals, macroalgae, stuff like that. Over here we've got clownfish, live rock, and in the summertime, of course, back here we've got pond stuff. We've got koi fish and water lettuce, garden plants, that sort of thing. Just trying to go through the saltwater stuff fairly quickly because that's not really something I'm into. These are all different, or mostly I should say, different types of clownfish over here, and they got a big variety of clownfish. And then of course you already got a little glimpse of all the various corals. It's a big old puffer fish. I wonder why the water is so low in this tank. They must be doing maintenance on it. It's only half full at the moment. So now we'll come back to the back corner of the store. This is where I usually start my tours. This is the last aisle of the store, and it's got some really pretty display tanks in it. This is one of my favorites. And it is Saturday, so it's kind of busy today. It's going to be kind of a disheveled little tour. But this is a gorgeous tank. I love this one. If you start looking at all the little fine detail of the different plants. Very well maintained. I don't know what this plant is here, but I really like it. And all the little mosses that grow. It's a big difference between this and my waterfall tank. So we'll start by going up the one side and come back down the other. I'm probably not going to try to rattle off every fish in every tank, but I'll stop and point out the ones that I find to be fairly interesting. I really love these clown knife fish in this tank, and that big royal Pleco back there. I think that's a royal Pleco. Oh, I don't even see it written on there. There's a gold Pleco, redfin. That looks like a royal to me, but I'm not sure. So there's another one. This is probably my favorite display tank. I really like this tank a lot. It's just amazing. And there's so many little fish in here. Once you start looking around, I don't know what kind of Pleco that is, but that's a gorgeous one there. It's hard to tell in this video, but it's got sort of stripes and bands on it, sort of yellowy colors. That might not even be a Pleco. That might be a Gara or something like that. Not even sure what it is. Really cool looking little fish though. Yeah, I think that's a little Gara. I don't think that's a Pleco. And then of course we've got some high dollar lighting on this. It's all programmable. You can change the color temperature, so on and so forth. So getting into the fish, this aisle is sort of their oddball aisle. It's got a little bit of everything in it. It's got larger fish in it. This is where they keep some brackish fish. A lot of times you'll find isolated or injured, sick fish in this aisle. I haven't been down here yet today, so I don't know if there's anything worth really stopping and looking at. These are always cool looking fish. I don't know what they are, but they are really neat looking. Not sure what that is either. Looks like some kind of gourami. So those are cigar fish. And that is a red tail gourami. Interesting. That's an extra large something or other, although that's crossed out, so that's probably not what it was. That's probably in here for isolation. Don't know what that is, but that's pretty cool looking. I'm guessing that's the red spotted. That is a gorgeous fish there. If you'd cooperate and turn sideways a little for us, there we go. So once we start getting down towards this end, we get into where all their plants are. Not really going to spend a lot of time looking at the plants. You can see they've got a nice large selection, good variety of plants down here. This side is mostly goldfish, feeders, and big stuff that they don't really have room for in other places. So we won't spend too much more time walking down here. I always do enjoy looking at the larger Plecos. I've always been a big fan of the Plecostomus. I like that fish. So there's another good sized one in there. We're going to see some really big ones here in a few minutes. These are awesome. Yeah, they're gorgeous. And they're dwarf. I might have to actually think about these.
Look at these little cats. See these little
Some Synodontus. I'm just trying to look for anything interesting. We got a lot of store to cover. We're only in the first aisle. The store has over 700 tanks in it. So there's another one of those big gouramis. I really like these. They apparently get pretty big though, because that's another one there. Yeah, that's probably a bit much for any of my tanks, except maybe my 125. And one of these tanks, there it is. I knew they had a big frontosa in one of them. Look at that clown knife fish back there. That thing's huge. Wild frontosa. And then this tank is full of wild caught discus. And those Lancer catfish are gorgeous looking catfish too. Look at them back there. they get really big, so I wouldn't even dream of getting something like that. But that is an amazing looking catfish. Alright, that's the end of that aisle. We'll come around to the first main aisle. This is where the store usually starts getting crowded. So this aisle is one that I can shop in. The fish in this aisle are in water that is compatible with my water. The fish in the first section here are compatible with my water. That island at the far end is actually all African cichlids, and that's very hard water. And then the next aisle over is the salt water. So we'll start by looking in this aisle. And this aisle is full of everything from the red serpent tetras, mollies, you know, a lot of the stuff you can get pretty much anywhere. But then you've got some oddball stuff like these bucktooth tetras. I've seen these feed before. It's an ugly, vicious sight. These are not community-friendly tetras, put it that way. I really like these high-finned banded sharks, but I have a suspicion that these get really big too, and they would not work out well for me, but I really like them. Unfortunately, we've got some painted parrotfish. I hate seeing that, but you know, you're going to see them most places. These look like little batis almost. I'm not sure what they are. Is that what we're looking at? It's the only label for that tank, so I guess so. These are some rainbow fish, I believe. And these, of course, are way too small to go in my tank. My Tenopoma would just gobble them right up. These are some beautiful Buenos Aires tetras. And we're back into mollies. We've got small gouramis. Again, this is just more or less the standard fare you find at most fish stores. And I also have to move through this area quickly too, because it's where the radio is, and if it plays any song that YouTube's algorithms pick up as a copyrighted song, then it screws my whole video up. So this is one that's worth looking at. It's Sardini arowana. Like that catfish too. These are emerald rainbow fish. They might actually be big enough to go in with my Tenopoma, except the only problem is their color. I don't want that blue. I want a reddish or an orange or yellows. I want some earth tones in there. I don't want that bright blue. I don't want a turquoise or an emerald. So we'll just keep moving along. Here's another arowana. More big catfish. Now here's some Bosmani rainbow fish. I do like these, but again, these are probably too small, and my Tenopoma would make a snack out of them. And that is an expensive fish food. So we're probably not going to go with that either. Alright, you got a little bit of congestion going on. This is where all the action happens. All the fish get bagged up and whatnot. So here's some rainbow fish that I suspect might have been gotten for me. When I was down here last week, I talked to Mike, and he said he did get some rainbow fish in. If you follow my videos regularly, you'll know that the owner here was looking for some rainbow fish for me that were a little bit larger so that my Tenopoma couldn't eat them. And he said he got some in for me, but they were ugly. And so he just went ahead and put them in a tank and put them up for sale. He's going to try to get me something better. So I would suspect this is what he means by ugly. These just aren't very colorful. Their fins are a little raggedy. They all seem to have white lips from either banging into stuff or possibly an illness. Not really sure. But that could be the rainbow fish he got in for me and decided not to give me. So I don't know. We'll see. These are Millennium rainbow fish. He said he also might try to get some of them for me, but these again look too small to go in with my Tenopoma, although it's possible that this is as big as he could get.
Alright. See you, Mike.
So they are also a little on the pricey side. These are awesome. I've never seen these before at all. These are gold roseline sharks, or some people call them Denison Barb'S, but they're gold Denison Barb'S. I've tried keeping them before, but I've never had any success with them. Not sure why. It was a long time ago, early in my fish keeping days. So I'd consider these again, but these are also a very pricey fish, and I really can't afford to buy a school of them. So that's probably something that we'll hold off on. And these, I believe, are small roseline barbs. These might be the gold ones, but I don't think so. These don't have that same vivid color to them, even though they're smaller. Got more rainbow fish down here. These are yellow rainbow fish. These are turquoise rainbow fish. These are red rainbow fish. I don't know what these will look like when they get older. I'm going to have to look it up, but just by their name, red rainbow fish, that sounds pretty awesome to me. And that's almost affordable for me. I could probably do 6 or 7 of those. And down here we've got Goiter River rainbow fish. I really like the Goiter River rainbows. If these get a little bigger over the next week or two and don't get sold out, I might actually see if I can work out a little bit of a deal on these, because once again, they're kind of expensive. It's usually how it goes though. The good stuff's always the most expensive stuff. So we've got sharks, we've got more mollies, more upside down catfish, more mollies. We've got more, was that a rainbow fish in there? I'm not sure if that's rainbow fish or not, but it probably is. Kissing gouramis. Not sure what's going on in this tank, but all of the red tail sharks are doing that. They've been doing that the whole time I've been here. So not sure what's going on with that. Now these are interesting. I did not see these when I first came in. These are albino orange millenniums. Wow. Wow. Alright, I think I might have just found my rainbow fish. Wow. I did not even see these when I first came in here and walked down the aisle the first time. I'm definitely going to have to see if I can work out something on the price there, because there's no way I can put 6 of them in here unless I get some crowdfunding. But that is amazing. Oh, I'm in love with these things. And they are big enough that I think my Tenopoma would probably leave them alone. Maybe Mike got these in for me this week. He said he was going to try to get me something good this week. Wow, they're stunning. Alright, well, moving on. Black skirt Tetras. I am going to take home with me today a Moonlight Gourami. And I'll show you a couple other things I plan on taking home today, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but probably. Definitely taking home a Moonlight Gourami. We get down into the end, we get into these glowfish. More, lots of glowfish, common Plecos, more rainbows, more rainbows. Now, I know a lot of you out there are African cichlid people. I'm not. I have no interest in them. So I'm going to skip this aisle like I normally do. It would just take too much time to go over everything that's in the store, so I'm going to focus on the stuff that, you know, I focus on. So all of this aisle, around this end, and down all the way to that midpoint section, all of that is their African cichlid stuff. And then this whole aisle, all the way down, all the way to the front of the store is all their saltwater stuff. So we're going to skip over a lot of that. We'll come back here. So we'll just walk on past all of their African cichlid stuff. Sorry for all you African cichlid people. And so we get back to this aisle. And this aisle usually has some pretty cool stuff. So I've got some golden dwarf honey gouramis. And I think I'm probably going to take at least one or two of these home today, because I still have that female honey gourami in my gourami tank. And the male died, and she more or less lost all of her color. And so I definitely want to get at least one male back in the tank for her. And again, these are so small that I might take a couple of them home. So some of the common stuff over here, some of the smaller Tetras. We have a lot of the very expensive fancy Plecos over in this aisle. So let me see if there's anything really eye-catching down here that we can stop and look at. I might also take home a couple more diamond tetra today to add to my school. I've got 5 in that tank, and they school together nicely. But now that I've got it more opened up and spacious, which you all haven't seen yet, but I do have it opened up and more spacious in there. So I think maybe a school of 7 or 8 of them swimming around might look nice. So I may add to that school a little bit. I'm not sure what these are. Golden Costella Tetras? Never heard of them. So these are one that I definitely am interested in. These are long-finned Rosy Barb'S, and I think they're gorgeous. I just don't have any room for a school of them, and I'm not entirely sure how aggressive the Rosy Barb'S are. I don't know if they're fin nippers or not. If it's got the name Barb attached to it, I just assume it's a fin nipper, although I believe the Rosy Barb'S are not too bad. But these long fin models are awesome. Really, really like the long fin Rosy Barb'S. And then up here we've got some of these tiny dwarf emerald rasboras. So those probably stay tiny. They're probably very similar to the, I can't even think of what they're called now. Celestial Pearl Danios, or the, goes by a Rasbora name too. I don't know why they call them Rasboras and Danios, but I can't think of the Rasbora name right now. But they're tiny, tiny little things, and I think those are real similar species. So over here, I'm not sure what that is, but it's pretty cool looking. A painted glass fish. And we have some more expensive Plecos. Not even sure what they are. Beautiful. Lots of Quarries in this aisle. See, these are the ones that I was originally looking at. These are the just regular old dwarf honey gouramis. I didn't see the golden dwarf honey gouramis when I came through and made my preliminary look. So we might take home the golden dwarf honey gouramis rather than the regular standard one. I saw these when I was in here last time. They are leopard otocinclus. I believe that's what they're called. No, I'm sorry, zebra otocinclus. Yeah, I am. It's Dan Heitshoe.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, if you're hanging around the store for a little bit when I'm done this, I'll catch up with you and show you where I am and all that.
Okay.
I'll be here for a while.
Alright.
These are neon gold Rosy Barb'S. Never seen those either. So So here is the Praecox rainbow fish. These are little dwarf neon rainbows. I thought about getting some of these, but my tank that I still have a couple in is so crowded at the moment. I really can't afford to be putting any more rainbow fish in it. So maybe over time, when that tank thins out a little, we'll try those again. And I gotta move along before the music winds up getting me in trouble there with the copyright. So not a whole lot going on in here. I did see these Plecos when I first came in, and they are amazing. Not too terribly pricey either, for what they are, that is. I know they're kind of hard to see now that I've spooked them and scared them all away. But we've got ornate Polypterus. These are amazing when they grow up and get bigger. And of course we've got the Pinac, Royal Pinac. That's actually not a bad price for what that is. Someday I'll get one of these. I really like these. I always have. I just don't have a really good tank set up for them. So let's wrap around the end here. And we will work our way back up this aisle on the other side. So this is the aisle that I like the most. It's got all the little weird fish and oddballs, interesting little stuff. I don't even see any of them in there, but they're still on the tag. And the high-finned Quarry catfish. I saw these earlier. Oh, there's one of those little baddest. You can just about see it sitting there. There it goes. These look like blue dotted hill trout. Okay, never seen those before. I thought they were kind of rainbow fish until I looked at them closely. They're definitely not a rainbow fish. Fork-tail blue-eye rainbows. These are definitely rainbows, but they're tiny. Alright, what do we have here? Pike Cichlids. I love me some Pike Cichlids, although these probably grow out to be full grown. They're not the dwarf pikes like I have. Some regular old Gouramis. These are really weird looking. They look like blind cave fish. They are blue dolphin catfish. And they really do just look like some strange blind cave fish. I personally don't think they're very attractive at all. I don't like them. More shrimp, more Plecos, glow light Tetras, green cherry Barb'S, tiger Barb'S rather, I'm sorry, not cherry Barb'S. These are interesting little, not sure what they are, but we're going to move away from the speaker right there because I don't want to get any copyright infringements. We've got frogs, we've got crayfish in this aisle. Sorry if I keep pointing the camera between, I'm looking up and down and I have a feeling I keep holding the camera like right between the two tanks so you're not really seeing the top or the bottom. And these are coolie loaches. You can almost not even tell they're in there until you see those little stripes. But these are another one that I might be taking home today. These are the biggest Bumblebee Gobies I've ever seen. Last time I was down here, I took several of them home. They just look like jumbo-sized Bumblebee Gobies. So, might take me a little batch of them home today to add to my brackish tank. And we've got these little guys in here. Venezuelan black Quarries. Those are really cool looking. I've never seen those before. Really good looking Quarries, wow. There's a gorgeous Pleco down there. Some more Tetras, some more Tetras. These are really pretty. These are black Rosy Barb'S. I noticed these when I walked through earlier today too. I really like these a lot. Now the long-finned golden Rosy Barb'S that we saw, or whatever they were over there, those were awesome. These are pretty good, but those other ones were just fantastic. Some more glowfish. Looks like some geos or something there. Those are fire mouths. And some more of them. So this is all of their big saltwater aisle. We're just going to sort of wrap around that, but we can have a little look at a few things as we walk past. Oh, that's a cool looking little fish. It's like a saltwater version of a leaf fish. I really don't know anything about saltwater. I had one saltwater tank years ago. It was not a success. Not my best tank ever. And I didn't really hold a lot of interest in the saltwater, so I've never really pursued it ever since then. That almost looks like some kind of goby. It probably is. There's more species of gobies probably than any other fish in the world. Those really are neat looking little fish. They really do look like saltwater versions of a leaf fish. And that's a little puffer in the back. He's cool. Alright, around here to my favorite aisle. Everything in this aisle can come home with me. I looked at these last week and considered them. They're Asian needle-nosed fish, which apparently when I looked them up is just a different way of saying that they're Asian gar. So they are voracious fish eaters. I couldn't even think about putting any of them in one of my tanks. It would have to be a gar only tank. Any other fish that went in there would be feeders. There's some duckweed for you if you want some duckweed. And believe it or not, this is not where I got my duckweed. I will say they've got a very poor selection of guppies here. That's pretty much it. That's their guppies. They don't have any really fancy ones. They don't have any really exotic or interesting ones. You generally just get one tank of fancy guppies and that's it. So I always go to PetSmart to get my guppies, believe it or not. Lots of neons, more Barb'S. These look like albino Barb'S. Yeah, these are just albino tigers. And then we get into the angelfish and discus are in this aisle too. I absolutely love these. Yep. These are blue marble. Go ahead. For Saturday, this isn't too bad. I really like these blue marble.
Do you care what color?
Got more Barb'S. Got some different angels. These are okay. I was gonna say these look like half blacks. These are half blacks and gold marble veils. I really like this little one right here. And the half blacks are cool too. I like them. I had one once that I think had half black genetics in it because it was half black, but it wasn't officially sold as a half black. There's one of their skimmers for their saltwater section. Protein skimmers, that's the word I was looking for. More neons, more rummy nose tetras. I really like the rummy nose tetras. That's another fish I've never had. over the years is the rummy nose. More neons. They sell a lot of neons. Everybody sells a lot of neons. These Acaros, these electric blue Acaros are really pretty. I like those. These are, I'm sorry, these are Black Phantom Tetras. These are not what I saw earlier. We'll get to those in a minute. These are really pretty too. I like the Black Phantom Tetras. Look at the size of that shark. Wow, he's huge. Big old tank of angelfish. These look like they're just, yeah, they are. They're just mixed veils. So these are little tiny baby angels. Now we've got another tank of guppies right here. And somewhere down here, playing hopscotch with customers. Here they are. This is what I've been looking for. We'll get to some of the fish we just passed in a minute. These are broken line tetras. Never seen them before. According to the label, it says they're rare, which would explain why I've never seen them before. Broken striped tetras. And you can clearly see why they're called that. They've got that broken line down their side. They're really cool looking. I really like them. So I've never seen those before. So these are good looking. These are bleeding heart tetras. I don't know why there's so much glare in this aisle as opposed to the other ones. I guess it's because they've got a set of tanks that's higher up and the lights are being able to shine down lower. So here are angelfish and GBRs. So those are some good looking fish. These are some more good looking angels. These are assorted veil. I like that one down there. That's pretty. So this is another one that I really like. I don't know what it is because all I see is that, and these don't have any kind of red in their tail at all, so I'm assuming it's not those. And then assorted veil angelfish, and I know those are not veil angelfish, so I don't know what they are, but I like them. I imagine they're expensive and probably get really big. Most of the cool fish usually do. And this is where we get into the aisle where we've got more of the domestic, you know, tank bred, tank raised discus as opposed to those wild discus we saw down at the other end of the store. And discus are another one that I've just never really had much of an interest in. They're pretty to look at, but I've just never had a desire to have them myself. And these are balloon belly German blue rams. More discus, more discus. Electric blue balloon belly German blue rams. More angelfish. I really like these angelfish. And then these, I really like these. They are goldface electric blue rams. Really like those a lot too. And finally we will come up this aisle. Didn't even know they had a display tank sitting right here. This last aisle is where serious oddballs, rescue fish, fish that people bring in. Really fish back there.
Anything that's over 125 gallon tank, I can't really live.
So my phone just told me maximum file size, so I don't know if this has been split into 2 files now or if we're no longer recording or what. I think this is my longest fish store tour yet. I was supposed to be down here doing a meet and greet, but as I suspected, nobody showed up. I wasn't really expecting anybody to, but I figured I'd come down anyway since I said I would be here, and then that way if anybody did show up, I would be here to meet and greet them. Those are not listed. See, that's one of the, oh yeah, they are. Large swordtails. A lot of times you won't even see a listing on the fish in this tank. For those of you who know my huge sharks that I got recently that were just listed as algae eating sharks, they came out of this aisle and they were unlabeled and didn't have any price on them or anything. Again, I had to ask somebody, you know, and work out what they were going to charge me for them and so on and so forth. So that's this kind of aisle here is sort of that stuff. So I'm going to try to start wrapping it up a little more quickly, and we're going to finish it off pretty much at this aisle. Oh, I'm making a liar out of myself today. There's a few more fancy guppies, but again, it's nothing specific, just fancy guppies and nothing beyond that. I really like these two, the pencil fish. I've thought about getting them many times over the years, but I never have. Maybe one day if I set up another nano tank, I'll get some pencil fish in it. We've got a pistos in this aisle. We've got lots of different shrimp in this aisle, little crayfish, freshwater lobsters. And again, we just get these sort of oddball tanks where they're growing stuff out or they're letting stuff recover. And let me see. Got some Endler's guppies in this tank. These look like female guppies. Not really sure why they have a single lone gourami down there with no label on the tank. And then we get into all of their little fancy shrimps. Let's see, we've got blue shadow panda, red tiger shrimps. Orange eye tiger shrimps, all kinds of good stuff. I never realized they had so many different shrimp. Those are cool. I've never had any shrimp other than ghost shrimp. And I never realized they had so many down here, so many different to choose from. I know there are a ton of shrimp out there. I just didn't realize this store had so many different shrimp. I knew they sold shrimp, but this is a huge selection. These are really cool looking too. Those are great looking. Those are neat. And lastly, we've got these little blue ones. If I can get you without some glare there. Alright everybody, I'm going to wrap that up. Leave you with the last look at the final section of the store, which is their reptile section. This is another one I never go in. Step around some more customers here. And then this finishes us up back to sort of more or less where we started. The front door is over that way where we came in, so we just made a big loop all the way around the whole store. And if we go around this way and down that aisle, it's where their lights and lighting and fish tanks and all that kind of stuff are. So thanks for watching everybody. I'm going to turn around this way for a minute so you can see me. And I'm going to say hope you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed. This is my fish tour playlist, or fish room tour playlist. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.